Got word that that our next guest was coming back in town. He's got a basketball camp at West High School tomorrow and Saturday, and life's good for him, man. He's not playing in stateside, but boy, he's playing overseas and doing well. Former University of Utah point guard Brandon Taylor in studio. BT, how are you, man?
Man, I'm good. I'm happy to be here.
So, catch us up. That you've been gone a couple of years now, and we see snippets here and there. Where has basketball and life taken Brandon Taylor?
Across the waters. My first year I went to Hungary and had some success there. I won a championship there. Then I went over to Romania, got to the finals, didn't quite win it. Then I went to Italy this previous year in A2 Italy, and I've made that big step now going to France, Pro A for Le Mans.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you've kind of made your way up because the first two leagues you played in weren't big leagues.
Yeah.
Italy is, but you were Division II in Italy, and now you're making that jump to the first division in France.
Huge jump. I actually was I was signed to an Italian team first, like right after the season. I signed to a first division Italian team very early on, right after the season was done. They ended up having money problems, so they ended up falling to a league, to second division.
Got relegated?
That got me freed up, and then it was back open. The market was open. I was able to see who was interested, and then Le Mans kind of came in and swooped me, and it's been everything I've ever asked for, really.
So where were you in Italy last year? What city?
I was in Bergamo.
Okay, which
Bergamo.
Is it Bergamo?
Yes.
Is that up north?
Yes, that's north. Yep.
Okay.
Right about 35 to 40 minutes northeast of Milan.
So that's that. I've vacationed in Italy before. It's fantastic, and I know the basketball's big over there too. But did you like Italy?
I loved Italy. My family loved it. My wife and my baby girl. She was born in Italy.
So does she get dual citizenship?
No, she doesn't.
Man.
She doesn't. Unless we were to be in Italy, I think for 2 more years,
okay,
that she'll be able to get some type of citizenship. But they don't do that anymore. They don't do that. It's not because both her parents are American. It'll be different if I was Italian or she was Italian. She'll be able to get dual citizenship.
So 10-month-old little Lively, who I just got to meet.
Yeah, she's everything. I finally understand what it's like when people say you have kids, life is different. You start paying attention to things that you weren't paying attention to. You start really feeling fulfilled and have this warm feeling because of your children.
So how's this adventure been? I've always said I think it would be really cool if you can't be in the NBA, and everybody wants to be in the NBA. It's the greatest league in the world. But if you can't be there, boy, traveling and getting the chance to play basketball overseas and getting paid for it has to be a fun adventure. And you've seen a lot of Europe now. So how's it been? I mean, what did you think about it when you left Utah? And you had a good idea you weren't going to play in the NBA. Yeah. But what was your expectation, and has it been better than you expected, about what you expected? What's it been like?
It's been way better. Coming straight from college, you don't really we always think of going to the NBA, but we really aren't. We don't realize what overseas, playing professionally overseas can do for you and your family. I've been able to provide for my family also, as well as have my family be stationed and stabled, and also travel parts that I've read about when I was a kid. Yeah. Certain parts, we went to Venice a lot. We were down the street from Milan. I've been able to travel and see so many different parts of the world and just experience and vacation. And it's been amazing. It's definitely exceeded my expectations for Europe.
And it kind of opens your mind up a little bit too, because you grow. Here's what I always say: traveling overseas opens your mind up. It gives you new experiences. But it also gives you an appreciation for where you grew up, too.
It does. It does.
Being in the States.
Very much so. I like to tell people, they ask me, how is it playing overseas? I have such a broader perspective of life. I look at life a lot differently than I looked at it when I was just obviously growing up in my own bubble of being from Los Angeles, California. Then you travel. It's almost like when you travel from state to state.
Yeah.
But now you go from country to country. You get to experience different cultures, and you actually start to see they do things here that I pretty like as well. So you kind of have that, and you bring it all together, and then you just have this happiness of taking your family and going in Europe and just doing exactly what you love to do, and that's play the game of basketball.
Brandon Taylor's with us, former Utah guard, now playing in the first division in France. He's got a basketball camp we'll talk about here in just a minute. Did you try and immerse yourself in, say, Italian culture? Did you try and pick up the language so you could interact? And I'd be curious, teammates and coaches, did they speak English? Did they want you to speak Italian?
Definitely. Well, my first year, I think I picked up a lot on Hungarian.
Okay.
I was able to. So with the coaches, the common language is English.
Sure.
It might not be perfect, but Italy last year was my coach spoke great English. So I was able to pick up on a lot of basketball terms, like counting. I was able to understand counts. I was able to get all the basketball terms understood, and also the Italian language. I was able to pick up on that. Just same thing with counting, same thing with greetings and things of that nature. So yeah, I was able to understand it and pick up on the language a little bit for sure.
So that's good. And now just as soon as you pick up on it, now you're moving to France.
Yeah. Now it's bonjour. You know, it was amazing. It is amazing to be able to not only experience life, but to communicate in a different way. You know, you start to pick up you start to get rid of habits that you had, and you start to open your life up, and you start to just embrace everything that's coming towards you. So being able to learn the language, being able to speak to the local people there is everything.
Is there a European style of basketball, or is it a little different country to country? Like, say, West Coast basketball is maybe different than East Coast basketball. Was Italian basketball a little bit different than Romanian basketball, or is European basketball kind of all the same?
European, I would say more or less kind of the same. Yeah. It's so much more tactical.
A lot of practice.
A lot of practice. Oh, they love practice. They worship practice. That's for sure. We obviously know, practice, makes perfect, but they really love practice. If we didn't have a season, if we didn't have games every week, they'll be fine with it. They can just practice all day, every day. So that's one thing they kind of take and harp on, and just is repetition, practice. And then by the game, that's the easy part. That's the point you look forward to.
So what was the one thing you learned being with Coach K in Utah basketball for 4 years that paid the biggest dividends playing professionally? What was the thing? I mean, I'm sure there was a lot.
Yeah.
But what was maybe the biggest thing you took from your Utah experience that's really helped you now playing overseas and playing pro?
Two things. I would say probably my edge. I feel like when I was at Utah, obviously being undersized, and I've been undersized my whole life, right, I've had to play with this edge, and even more so taking it a step further of playing at Utah. You know, every year you always have recruits. You always have another player that wants your spot. So at Utah, I was able to, create this edge, like this chip on my shoulder even bigger. And secondly, I was able to understand what it was to play both sides of the basketball at a very high level. I realized that you can be very successful playing. I mean, offensively, a skill set, your offensive skill set is one thing, but if you're able to take that and flip it on the other side of the basketball, you have so much more of a value in what you bring to the game of basketball, rather than just being one-dimensional and can only score, or just being one-dimensional and can just play defense. If you can do both, then that'll take you a long way.
Did you run into any of the other guys over there? Did you see Jordan overseas?
I did.
Did you see Justin Bibbins overseas?
I didn't see Justin. I ran into Jordan my first year in Hungary. Yeah, that was a treat. He was we went to the same. He went to Corman. Yeah, that was about 3 hours away from me, and then we played twice. That was something special. That was a couple years ago, but ever since then I haven't been able to run into anybody else. I've ran into teams like when I played in Romania, Jason Washburn was just playing in Washburn this past year, and I played against a team that he played for, so we kind of just ran into, not directly, but just kind of in passing, really.
Is Jordan still overseas? Was he in Poland last year?
He was in Poland last year. Yeah, I'm not sure where he's going to now. But yeah, he's in Poland. He's married, has a baby on the way as we speak, actually.
So a lot of similarities between Brandon Taylor and
Jordan
Lovers.
Yeah,
right now.
for sure. Dakari is getting back in town. He's doing good.
He had a great run in the G League last year.
He had a great one.
He had a huge year in the G League. Now, is he going to go back G League? He's going
to Hungary.
Is he going to Hungary?
Yeah, he's going to Hungary. He's going to a great team, one of the top tier teams in Hungary, called Sonak, that we played in the cup, in the championship of the cup, when we actually beat them. But they're really solid. Every year they're always in first or second, third, top three team. They're always in the cup and always in the championship.
Is Tyler Rawson going back? I haven't talked to Ty. Is he going back to Spain, or what's Ty going to be doing?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I haven't spoken with Tyler, they were a little bit. He was a little bit after our kind of core group. But I'm not certain.
Okay. He was over at Barcelona for a bit last
year. Great
opportunity. Which is a great opportunity there, too. So that's fantastic. And
yeah.
then, of course, you've got Jakob.
Yeah.
You got DeLon, and you got Kuz.
Yeah.
Who all moved in the last year. Jakob stayed put in this offseason, but Kuz stayed in Los Angeles, but DeLon was on to Dallas. Have you kept in touch with the guys?
Yeah. I've always we always keep in touch. I was just working out with Jakob earlier today.
So he's in town.
Yeah, he's in town. I was working out with Kuz pretty much all summer long and seeing what that Los Angeles Laker lifestyle is. And then I was with DeLon a little bit as well. We were actually living about 10, 15 minutes away from each other in the valley. So we were all able to get up and just hang out just like good old times.
So how's Kuz?
He's great. He's good. He's good. He's focused.
He's loving being a Laker, isn't he?
Oh, yeah. Kuz was one of those dudes. He loved it. Like the spotlight, the fame, and now he actually has something to back him up. He's actually went and proven himself, so he has something to prove, and he's been proven that he's a great player and soon to be in the NBA, so he's loving it.
So what's the step going to be like now from going from the Italian second division to the French first division? Because France, I always tell people, and correct me if I'm wrong because you're over there now, but you've got Italy, France, Spain, and maybe Greece as the top four.
Greece. I would throw Germany in there.
And Germany,
Germany's
become better?
Yeah, a lot better. Very athletic, just like France. France is a very athletic league. So Italian, not so much. Great league, but France is a very athletic league.
So athletic league, what's that step up going to be like for you?
It's going to be another challenge. It's going to be just almost like me coming from small Pac Hills and going to the University of Utah and being in the Pac-12. It really is, and it's a challenge that I'm always up for. It's just why I train every summer, day in and day out, to prepare myself. So I'm ready for it. Mentally, I'm ready for it. It's going to be a big step. And this year, what my main focus was to where can I go after this year? Yeah. It's a great opportunity, but now I'm in a position to where if I do anything like I did last year and even better, I'm able to really, make an even bigger step,
Is that pretty common? Is it common among Americans or just in the Euro leagues? Is it mostly one-year deals or do guys maybe that are from that country sign maybe longer-term deals? Because it seems like most of the American guys that you see with local ties and other things are kind of hopping team to team, year to year.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm more curious if that's just more common among the foreign players.
Yeah, it is because it varies from country to country. Like there's certain countries or certain clubs that are established enough to where it might be it's not a bad thing to sign a multi-year deal, a 2-year deal. You see players, having 1-year deals. That's obviously because they're able to even get a better deal, or they're just able to go to a better country, a better league. So typically, as you get to your Spains and you get to your Italians, your France, and in those countries, those are the countries and the teams in those leagues that you're able to say, okay, I can sign a 2-year deal here.
All right, so who's the club you're with in France?
Le Mans, yes. Okay. Very, very official, professional, has great history. They won a championship, I want to say about 3 years ago.
Do you know any of your teammates? Are there any other Americans you know on the team? Is it mostly a French-based team? How's it work?
It's a bunch. I don't know any of them, so I won't know them until I get out of here Monday. This is the earliest that I've had to travel back overseas. But it's like, hey, I got to do what I have to do. But I don't know any of the Americans. But we have a few other. I think we have about 4 other Americans.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And have you talked to the coach or anything like that, or is it all going to be when you get there?
Yep. I talked to the coach. I had a great conversation with the coach actually before I even reached a deal or an offer. That was the first thing that we did. I was able to talk it over with the coach and us get on the same page and understand what I'm bringing to the table, what he expects out of his point guard and what he expects out of me. So after that, that's when they hit hard and was able to reach a deal and go from there.
So you're about halfway between Paris and the coast.
Yep.
Le Mans is right kind of squarely on the way to the coast, but it looks like, I just pulled a map up, it looks like maybe you're an hour and a half outside of Paris.
Yep, exactly.
They take good care of you? They hook you up with housing and all that other stuff?
Housing, and that's another thing that we kind of overlook as just being, and it's not a bad thing, we just don't know. But playing in college, we don't understand. When you go overseas, a lot of 9 times out of 10, your housing is paid for. Your transportation is paid for. The only thing, if you're really smart, the only thing you pay for is your food and going out every once in a while or doing whatever you need to do. But you're able to make a good chunk of change and save it and come home with majority of it.
So if I would have told 18-year-old Brandon Taylor, what was that now, 8 years ago? How old are you now?
I am 25.
Okay, so
just turned 25.
7 years ago, as you came into the University of Utah,
yep.
If I would have told 18-year-old Brandon Taylor that you're going to move your way through, you're going to be an all Pac-12 player, and oh, by the way, you're going to be a pro and touring the world overseas, what would you have said?
I would have just been, I would have knew some of it would have been true, but I was so fixed on certain things that it's, like I said, where I'm at now has exceeded all my expectations from when I was an 18-year-old kid coming into Utah. You know, it's exceeded every single thing that I even had, every goal I would set, or just my thought process on life after University of Utah. So I didn't know it was going. I knew I was coming into it, have an edge with coming to the University of Utah, and I wanted to make I wanted to, prove that I was a great player in the Pac.
When you came to Utah, did you even have a passport?
Yeah.
You
and
did?
here's
Okay.
I did have
Okay.
her. I did because my high school coach, he was the El Salvadorian national head coach. So I went there in high school. So that was the only reason why I had a passport.
So you did have one.
Yeah, I had one.
It
I
wasn't as stamped as it is today, though.
No, it's so much. I have to get a new one. Actually, I have so many countries, cities. It doesn't even make sense.
That's cool.
It's a good feeling.
That's really cool. By the way, Utah just hired one of the coaches from the Costa Rican national team.
Oh, really?
Coach Slokes went and he's now at UNLV.
Yeah.
And so the guy that they hired, Martinez,
really,
was a professional basketball player in Costa Rica, and he was a coach on the Costa Rican national team.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. at all.
Yeah. He's a player development guy, really good at player development.
Oh, is he?
And stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah. And his son's not bad either.
Really? Oh, his son is
now. He's a senior in high school now down in Orange County.
Wow. Okay.
4-star kid. His name's Ian Martinez.
Pretty solid player. Okay.
Future Ute.
Hey, I like that. Always a future Ute. That's a good sign.
So let's talk about the basketball camp. You've got the camp tomorrow and Saturday over at West High School, right?
Yes.
Is it just tomorrow, or is it tomorrow and Saturday?
It's tomorrow and Saturday from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m.
So any spots open still?
Yeah. We have some spots open. We were doing early registration, and now we're at a point where we can take in last minute registrations at the door. I advise if you are doing that, you show up a little bit earlier, maybe about 8:30ish, 8:45ish, just to get squared away. But yeah, everything is set to go. Man, we got some cool merch for the kids. Man, we have
always good to have a swag bag.
Yeah, it is. I'm excited, man. I'm so excited just for this is first anything, and I couldn't think of anywhere else other to do it. But the University of Utah is a home for me. This is exactly where I kind of grew from a boy to a man. So it's exciting. The camp is everything that I've wanted. I'm just hoping to lay a solid foundation with this first camp and then for years to come.
And that'll be fun. By the way, to register for the camp, go to btaylorsports.com. That's btaylorsports.com. And if you have any more questions, you can call 406-697-1505. That's 406-697-1505. If you've got kids that are basketball players that you thought camps were done for the summer, they're just kind of sitting around now before school starts, tomorrow and Saturday down at West High School right downtown, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m., lunch and drinks provided, a little swag bag too. And it's all ages too, kindergarten all the way up to 12th grade.
Yeah, it is. What we'll do is we'll separate the kids at the camp so it won't just be an 8-year-old competing against a 15 or 16-year-old. So we'll just separate the two. And we have a whole cool stuff, 3-point contest. We're going to have a skills challenge. And every day the top campers are going to be able to play open gym with us every day after the camp. After the camp is done, we're going to run an open gym 5-on-5 and get some kids and some competition going on.
Who's helping you out down there? Anyway, we know.
Aaron Dotson. Remember? Yeah,
I know Aaron. Yeah.
Yeah, me and him is pretty much. He's full-fledged. He's pretty much running everything. He's pretty much directing the camp. I'm showing up, and me and him are working together. We have Lawrence Bora. You know
LB.
Lawrence. Yep, LB. Yeah, LB. LB will be there. He'll be a coach. And we got a couple other people that's going to be. I don't want to disclose.
All right,
couple.
He doesn't want to disclose in case something comes up.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to disappoint anybody. But I do know some of the guys he and I were talking about. So
yeah,
there might be some nice surprises. Again, Kids K through 12, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. tomorrow and Saturday down at West High School. To register, it's btaylorsports.com. That's btaylorsports.com. Did none of those guys ask you to play on any of those teams? Team Utah, any of those teams that were at the TBT last weekend?
No. They did,
Okay.
definitely. We were, even like these past 2 years, I've been able to, when I'm overseas, I've been getting into the finals.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't get home till about
So you've been
late
tired.
June. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So, and I've also been concerned about, it's a great opportunity. You have NBA scouts there. You have overseas scouts, but I needed to really just get back and rest up and then really focus on training. So that's what I've been doing these past 2 summers. So we never know what next summer brings. So I may be in a TBT next summer.
Well, we'll see. But he's playing and collecting a nice check to play basketball overseas in France right now. Where can people follow your? Are you doing the social media thing?
Yeah,
right now? Where can they follow
definitely,
you
definitely.
so they can keep track of you.
I'm on Instagram. I'm on Brandon T824. My name and first initial, my last name Brandon T824. That's on everything. I actually have to get my Twitter back. I deleted it. I want to say I deleted it some years ago because in Twitter you can kind of get into some trouble. You have people that's going to tweet you all the time.
Very little good happens on Twitter.
Yeah,
I only keep it for news and stuff like that. But go to Insta.
Yeah. Go to Instagram. I'm on Facebook. Brandon T824. That's where you'll pretty much find me and my family. She's on there. My little girl is on there, and my life is on there. So
there you go.
Yeah, everything. That's it for me.
I'm so happy for you, man. I really am. It's fantastic. I'm glad you're getting to live your dream and have some fun and an adventure overseas and keeping those roots back here too.
Yeah, of course. Have to come back home, man. Like I said, Utah is a home for me. It's always a place I've always considered home, and I'm just excited for where I am now in life and where I'm continuously growing. And I appreciate you for having me on the show. And, just inviting me on the show. I'm so much appreciative of it.
The camp is tomorrow, August 2nd, and then August 3rd, 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Get your grade school and high school-age kids down and let them have a run with Brandon and his staff down there and learn a little basketball and have a little fun. btaylorsports.com. And thanks for returning my text.
Yeah.
Unlike some of your former teammates.
Yeah,
we're not going to say anything.
Yeah, we're not going to say anything.
But some of your teammates who aren't quite as good at returning texts.
I'll get on top of them. It's all family here.
There we go.
On top of them.
We don't air family business.
No, we don't. That's all in-house.
That's all in-house family business. All right, that's Brandon Taylor. Taking a break. Kyle Beckerman with us on the other side right here on ESPN 700.